Right your mark.
I'm Kyle Chalmers.
I am Kira Toussaint.
Hi, this is Dylan Carter.
I'm Minna Atherton.
Hi, I'm Duncan Scott, and you're listening to the London Raw podcast.
Hi, Steve from Pullbuoy here, welcoming you back to the London Raw podcast. The Raw made their debut in ISL Season 3 last weekend, putting up a strong showing against Energy Standard and coming away with a creditable second place. Katie and I caught up with two of the swimmers who were part of that team, Duncan Scott and Dylan Carter, and we'll also introduce you to the Finnish connection on this year's Raw squad. So, let's head over to Naples and see what's happening. Dylan Carter, Duncan Scott over in Naples. Welcome to the London Raw podcast. Great to have you with us. First match out of the way. Duncan, your thoughts on the match against Energy and the others last weekend?
Yeah, I thought, well, hi, thanks for having us on the podcast firstly. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought we found ourselves in a bit of a dogfight, but given how small our team is and how many more people we have to add, I think it was actually quite exciting that we swam and what we were able to do. I know, speaking for myself, it's the first meet I've done since Olympics, so it's been quite a while since I've raced. So yeah, I thought the team actually swam pretty well. It can give us confidence moving forward.
And Dylan, obviously you're new to the Raw this year. How was your first experience with London?
Yeah, I really enjoyed my first meet. Like Duncan said, we are all in a little bit different spots in training and preparation because the Olympics was just a month ago. But I thought the team atmosphere was amazing. I had a really great time. I feel very welcomed by some of the leaders on the team, such as Duncan and the other guys. You know, I feel like I fit in pretty well. I hope they like me. But yeah, it was a great time, and the relays were fun. So looking forward to the rest of the season.
And it's good you say about the team welcoming you and a bit of team spirit. It's something we spoke to Rob and Steve about last week, but it looked like it was right back to exactly as we saw last year and in previous years when Vinny won the fly skins. Duncan, is it good to be back racing for London Raw?
Yeah, I think it was really important to sort of kick off from where we left off the last time, and we've got a lot of new people that are part of London Raw, like Dylan, and I thought, you couldn't really tell, to be honest. It was sort of like everyone's mingled really well. We've had a couple of exercises of just a bit of getting to know one another, but it's great to have the Aussies back. Obviously they missed out in season 2, and yeah, so many new faces, but it feels like we've been with each other for ages, which is really good so far.
Dylan, as you've had to integrate yourself with the team, obviously, one of the new faces this year. Has that been easy, do you think, because you're in perhaps a slightly less strict bubble than last year, and there's an opportunity to perhaps get out and about a bit more?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously we have meals together, we train together, we're on the buses together, but we also have the ability to go out for meals, go out and grab a pizza, go out and grab an ice cream, go see the city, which is really nice. It's been a lot of fun, and it's nice to bond with these other great athletes over something that's not always what we have in common, which is swimming, to do some things differently as well. So it only makes that connection that much stronger. And I think that we'll see that pay off come down at the end of the season.
I'll be honest, I've seen plenty of pizzas on Instagram, and I'm really quite jealous because they do look good. So keep that up.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
The pizzas are top notch here.
Dylan, you both said that you've not swum since the Olympics, or raced at least since the Olympics. Is it good just to blow the cobwebs away? I mean, we saw Energy and some of the other teams have improved from their first match to their second match. So getting that first swim in, do you think you can move on now? Yeah,
absolutely. Last ISL, I pretty much improved throughout the entire time we were there. I think it was obviously sharp that we would be at that first match. So yeah, I'm definitely hoping to continue to improve and continue to put down some better times and performances for the Raw.
Now we talked about that gap from Tokyo. I worked it out as 33 days from the medley relays, Duncan, until day one of this match. And a couple of people on Instagram, Min, Autumn and Alejandra, who follow London Raw, wanted to ask how you both spent that time.
So for me, it was just chilling out. I didn't touch a pool for 3 weeks, and then and I did a session a day after that, and then we came out here. But I think it was just nice to chill out. It's been it's been good as well having something else, straight off the bat and getting to meet all the people. Because I think, with Tokyo, the way that it was, we weren't able to really mingle with other teams as much and really hang out. So it's been quite nice doing that here. But yeah, no, I sort of just tried to avoid it all for 3 weeks, and then gradually I've got back to it.
Yeah, like Duncan said, you don't want to go too hard because you've been going hard for a while. I tried to stay in the pool, but I was pretty busy outside the pool. I actually went through a move, so I was being out of my apartment. So that kept me pretty busy. And so, yeah, I was looking forward to actually getting out here to, go somewhere different and see somewhere new. It's Italy, it's Naples. It's really nice. So I actually had a pretty busy 3 weeks, and so I'm kind of unwinding as well as doing some racing while I'm here.
So after the first match, Duncan, you're 5th in the MVP points. So you must be really pleased with that. Did you expect to swim as well as you did?
I think the first swim was a big one for me because I was going in completely no idea, to be honest. Because I think in season I know where I'm at, and I'm sort of aware of how much it's going to perhaps hurt and other things, and whenever I know how well I'm swimming, and I'm quite confident. Whereas that's probably one of the strangest preparations I've ever had for a competition. So I didn't really have a clue how I was going to swim. So once the 2am was out the way, I was pretty confident, with how things were going to go. Yeah, I think it was a bit of a strange one, to be honest. Quite happy with it until I saw what Caleb did the other day. I think I did 7 swims, 3 first, 4 seconds, and I was 7 points short of what he managed to pick up in the skins. So yeah, the old jackpots have hurt me there. But I'll quite happily do anything for the team and whatever races are required. And that was very much the case, because we were a bit light on numbers in match 1. So it was good to get that out there.
And you're really having to pull your weight on day 2 particularly. How do you prepare for that kind of full programme?
Well, I think it's more just one swim at a time. This time it was 100 free, 2 free. I don't know what it'll be like the next time. With Kyle coming in now, it really adds a lot of strength for the 100 free in particular. But for me, it's one time I can't really think about the 4am, and it needs to just be pushed away. I've got 20 minutes after 2 free to think about that. But the less I think about that, the better. I didn't do anything for it in training. I was like, just leave that. That'll work itself out. But for the 2 free and the 100 free, I've got plenty of time in between them. I think I got about 30 minutes, so it works out quite well. It's just the tough double at the end, and it was quite nice having to do it with Luke as well, who's I think a bit nervous, but he executed what he wanted to do really well.
Watching that 400 IM, we were wondering, was that a deliberate tactic that Luke was going to go out, use his backstroke speed and pick up those halfway points and let you just focus on swimming for the end result?
I think on reflection it might have been, but going into it, I think the coaches were a lot like I was a bit unsure of what I was actually going to do. My hundreds were really good. I think that's down to the nice rest that I've been able to have over the last few while. Unsure about how I was going to fare in the 400, but I think in the end it's actually worked out really well. The way that he's able to swim it, use his incredible backstroke to win that first 200 by quite a way, and it sort of gives me something to chase down. So it did work out really well, and it worked in our favour. I think he got 15 points in that, so it did work well. And
Dylan, this year's a bit different. You were drafted to London Raw, so I guess it would be interesting to know about that process. So were you watching the draft, or how did you find out, and how did you feel being part of a new team this year?
Yeah, I was watching the draft. I didn't really expect to not be retained actually by LA Current, so that was a little bit of a surprise to me. And so I was a little bit scrambling, talking with a few coaches that I know, maybe you can pick me up or whatever. But I hadn't spoken with London at all, and I was watching it. So I was kind of tuning in when other teams were picking their athletes, like maybe they're going to call my name. And then Rob called my name, which was obviously an incredible honor. I was really, really excited to be such a strong team. So I think it really worked out for the best for me, and I'm loving it so far. It was really an exciting experience, the draft for me. So I wouldn't want to be in it again next year though, but that's for next year.
And had you spoken to Rob at all before, or is it a completely new team for you?
Yeah, I'd never spoken to Rob before, so yeah, I don't know. He must have liked what he's seen at some points.
Yeah, we're very glad to see you on the team.
Hi, I'm Laura Lahtinen from Finland and I'm joined the Roar for 2021. I'm excited to be part of London Roar because it has been my favorite team since the first ISL season in 2019. My favorite event is 100 butterfly on short course because it doesn't hurt that much and I get to use my dolphin kicks. I'm looking forward to the ISL because I get to race alongside the best swimmers in the world and show the world what I'm made of. The event you're least likely to see me swim in the ISL is 200 meters backstroke. I am faster in backstroke kicks than swimming backstroke. My worst training set is 15 times 200 meters butterfly on short course. I'm Laura Lahtinen and this is the London Roar podcast.
All right. So talking about new teams, you've got new teammates this year. Duncan, obviously you were with a lot of the team last year as well, but we like to find out how well you know your London Roar teammates and perhaps see if we can find out a little more about them as well. So Katie has been on the case doing her research on your teammates and also coming up with some less honest facts about them. So she's got 4, I think. Is that right, Katie? 4?
Yep, 4 facts.
And then all we need you to do, Dylan, Duncan, is to identify if it's true or false for each one. So we like to call this feature "Lion" or "Lying." So is she lying about your teammates, or is she telling the truth? So you can confer. This is you against Katie. No, it's just a bit of fun. But are you ready with question number 1, Katie?
Yes. So question number 1. Kira Toussaint broke the world record in the 50 backstroke when competing for the Roar in ISL season 2. But this wasn't her first world record. In 2018, Kira was one of 4,483 people who hula hooped simultaneously for 7 minutes in Amsterdam, they set a new Guinness World Record. Is that true or is that false?
Well, I started thinking that was true, but I don't know if that's just the way she said it.
I think that's lying. I think lying. I mean, you know what? I think that we would have heard about this, man.
Yeah,
we would have heard about this.
Oh, there's so many world records on your team, though. Do you think she maybe just thought, I can't compete?
Nah.
I think it's lying.
Lying. You're saying lying. And you're right.
Correct.
So, there we go. Correct. 1 out of 1.
I would have definitely heard about
it. Very good. Katie, number 2.
Okay, so not content with 8 individual medals at the European Championships, Finnish Roar member Jenna Laukkanen has also managed to rack up 7 years as a competitive ice hockey player.
Oh, true or false for that one?
Jenna?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't.
7 years.
That's a lot of experience. There's no way.
Yeah, what age is she? It's low 20s, I think.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, I think lying.
Lie.
You think lying? Well, if I can get the technology to work, we can ask her.
Hi, I am Jenna Laukkanen, and the thing that you might not know about me is that I used to play ice hockey for like 7 years. So
there we go. Unfortunately, you're wrong. Jenna has 7 years as an ice hockey player. There we go.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, hidden talent indeed. Katie, number 3.
Number 3. Now, Duncan, I fully expect you to know the answer to this one. So, after his victory at the Commonwealth Games in 2014, new London Roar member Ross Murdoch found himself in the middle of a media frenzy, including the offer of a stunt double role in the TV adaptation of the historical romance series Outlander. Is that true or false?
No way that's true.
I mean,
there's not a chance that's true because he'd have definitely told me. Sure, and if there's no way he would have kept that a secret.
Yeah, there's no way. That has to be a
lie.
So you're saying a lie? Correct. 2 out of 3 so far. Not bad. Right, last one. Can you?
3 out of 4 ain't bad. We guys
that would be good. I think 3 out of 4 would be a good outcome. Katie, last one.
Okay, number 4. So Dylan, from our research, we found out that you came to swimming after first playing water polo. Is that right? Yeah, that's very cool. Right. Cool. So can you tell us whether it's true or false that fellow Raw sprint specialist Kim Busk also has a background in water polo?
Oh, I don't know. I don't really know, but I could see that.
What do you think?
I mean, the Dutch have a pretty good water polo tradition. I feel like, yeah.
I don't know, to be honest. This is difficult.
This might be just like a coin toss, but I could see it. You know, I'm just trying to put myself in the minds of the people who planned this game.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous place to go, Dylan, I tell you. What are we saying?
What are you virgin, Roy?
I think I'm leaning towards true.
I'm going to back him again.
Right, we're going to go true. Let's ask her.
Hi, I'm Kim Bus. A fun fact about me. Before I became a swimmer, I also played water polo in the national youth teams of the Netherlands.
There we go. So
Yay.
She not only played water polo, she was international at it as well. So brilliant. Well spotted. Well spotted. Yeah, that's a pretty good thing. So we found out some things that the team does outside their swimming or have done in the past. Natalie on Instagram wanted to ask you both if you weren't swimmers, what other activity you'd choose.
I would like to be a footballer. That was always that was a sport that I did as a kid. My dad was a footballer. He wasn't that good, but he played. And it seems like a pretty fun to be part of a team. I think that's what I like about being on the London Roar. And a lot of times swimming is a very individual sport. So to be on a full-time team, I think that would be pretty cool.
I played a lot of tennis, so I guess I'd probably say that. But then in sports that I'd actually just really like, I really like NFL. I think it'd just be really cool. I think probably much to Dylan in terms of the team environment, just like being a part of that and experience it. But I just love watching it, and I think that'd just be really cool to do. Yeah,
it's an exciting sport to watch, certainly.
I couldn't see you in there. Maybe a quarterback.
Quarterback, wide receiver.
Yeah. You got speed. Yeah.
Let's take a quick look forwards to your next match coming up next week. You've got a match up against Cali Condors, the Aqua Centurions, and the Tokyo Frog Kings. Cali have been...
Never heard of them.
The Cali have looked very strong. I mean, you've mentioned Caleb already, Duncan, but Cali have looked very strong this season already. Dylan, you train in that part of the world, so maybe you know some of them, but what do you make of them as a team?
Obviously, I mean, they're very strong. They have obviously one guy who's really good and scoring a lot of points, but I think that we're also very strong and we're getting stronger match by match. So I hope we give them a good run. I think we can.
And we mentioned earlier about the Aussies coming back. So you're going to have Emma and Kyle, to name a couple back in the team next time. Duncan, are you looking forward to having them back?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know how many Olympic medals we're adding there with those two guys coming in, but 2 Olympic champions are getting added to the team. I think they'd make an incredible difference to him. So, our boys were really. So I think our boys beat Energy Standard the last time, like their boys. Bringing Kyle in, not only like the individual events, 100 free, 50 free, I imagine, but the relays as well, which are so important and points wise are huge. So I think that'll add so much. But then Emma, the number of events that she can swim, her versatility will be so helpful on the women's side, and then relays as well. So I think they'll make a huge difference. Yeah.
And I guess outside of the points that they'll bring, Kyle seems to be a massive fan of the sort of raw team spirit and the concept based on our conversations with him last year. Are you looking forward to the energy that he'll bring to the team?
Yeah, I mean, since I'm part of London Roar, Kyle's always been there, and he's done so. I think he's done a couple more matches than me. Obviously, we missed him a lot last year. It gave me a nice opportunity to be in the A medley teams. But I think Kyle, he comes in and brings so much energy. He loves competing for it, and yeah, he's just a great competitor to be on a team with. You know, he's a great teammate and you know, a good friend. But it's just great seeing him because he just loves racing. So to get by him and he'll quite happily do anything and go head to head with anyone.
Well, I mean, I think just having more women will help you next week, wouldn't you think? You know, you had 11 out of a possible 14 up against No Energy. You've got one of the strongest women's teams in the competition, and again, Cali have got a really strong women's side as well. So just having the numbers, Dylan, will make a big difference.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt it for every single one of the girls last week. You know, I mean, immense shout out. I think everybody was just doing such a massive schedule. I mean, just off the top of my head, I remember watching Kira and Minna at least 4 times each on night one. Like, just so much. So, yeah, I think they'll really appreciate just a bigger squad. And obviously, Emma is just so versatile as well. That's going to take a big load off of pretty much everyone's shoulders on that women's side.
And Dylan, you got the skins pick. You know, to swim with Vinny in the fly this week. Are you hoping to get another go? I mean, with the new rules, it's a bit more up in the air about you know what strokes will come out. But I guess you might get another go at the fly if that comes out against us. Well, it's probable that people will strike the fly out maybe with Caleb swimming. But you know, would you up for that challenge?
Yeah, I mean, I'm always willing to put myself out there for the team. This weekend wasn't the best for me. You know, I was hoping to do a bit better. I was out in the first one, but I think I've got better in me. So if the chance arises again, you know, of course, I'll put my name in there. And if I'm the best option, of course, I'm definitely going to do it and my all and try and advance and try and win for the team.
Duncan, we saw you do the skins in season 1 when they were all freestyle. I think we saw you do it in London. In particular at the European Derby. The 400 IM probably means you're not going to do that double, but is skin something you'd like to have another go
at? Chuck my name in the hat for all 4 strokes. I'd love to do it. No, it's obviously for the schedule wise, it's quite difficult for me to do, but in terms of I don't get a look in. You know, our team's so strong that, you know, I don't really get a look in other than freestyle. So and I wouldn't even ask to be either considered. So yeah, I think perhaps freestyle, if it got chucked about, I'd maybe ask. But, you know, it's all about what the selectors think. You know, the same day, you know, if I was to do that, you know, we'll be able to do the 2 free, the 4 IM and the 100 free. So and that would probably make my 50 free at the end of the day a little bit slower. So it's just whatever the team thinks is the best call. But, you know, I can't say I'll be anywhere near the skins pro with how good our team is and how well covered is as well.
I like that you say that doing a 100 free, 200 free and a 400 IM might make your 50 free a little bit slower. I think that's
maybe.
Good. I like that. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, but it's the passion of the skins though. It just comes out.
I think we saw that watching the supporting last week. Brilliant stuff. There are a couple more quick little questions that came in via Instagram before we let you go back to your evening in Naples. Silas asks about how many kilometres per week you'd normally be doing in training and whether that's going to be very different through this period. I mean, I'm guessing probably you swim different events, you might do different volumes anyway, but what are you doing at the moment?
I actually don't really count my Ks per week. I would say, I mean, I don't know, I'd have to add it up real quick, but definitely less than usual, especially post-Olympics. And I want to be pretty fresh and to, you know, these are the best swimmers in the world, you know, and I think that I've got to be feeling pretty good to you know, compete and win some events. So my Ks are a little bit down. I don't know about Duncan. Duncan loves the Ks. I don't know if you could take his Ks away from him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I went Qs last week. So yeah, I'd say normally I do around probably the mid 40s is probably the most usual. I mean, that varies so much with a hard week maybe being you know, in the 50s. I probably did a couple of 60s in the last year, and then some recovery weeks are mid 30s. But yeah, since the Olympics, I did a week of one session a day, 1500s. So 15k that week, I think it was, and then last week it was just a bunch of 2 and 3Ks. So it'll probably be similar story this week as well. So quite different, you know. As Dylan said, these are the best athletes in the world. So if I was to go right back in deep, you know, I'd really struggle going against some of the athletes, week in, week out.
Yeah, of course. Right. One final question that came in on Instagram from Fliss, and now you can say pizza if you wish, being in Naples. But what's your go-to snack after racing, Dylan?
Like after the meet's finished?
Yeah. Like after the meet, a snack or a meal?
Well, she said snack, so maybe she's thinking, between races, maybe.
Oh, I like just like a banana or something pretty light, maybe like a bar or something with oats, some carbs, some quick carbs.
Yeah, I'd probably go like some sort of shake straight after. I find it quite difficult. If I've got another race, I find it quite difficult to eat quite a bit. So yeah, probably something liquid based. But for me, after a competition, probably a pizza, especially out here. Easy. Yeah. The whole squad just goes for a wee pizza.
Pizza nice. And an ice cream or something.
Yeah. I think pizza and gelato definitely the order of the day. Yeah. So. I think you've got to make the most of it while you're there. Duncan, Dylan, really appreciate your time. Loved hearing your thoughts on the matches and the match that's coming up. So we will let you go back and rest up, ready for the match coming up this week, and wish you best of luck for that next match.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Steve.
Thanks very much.
Hi, I am Jenna Laukkanen from Finland, and I am joining the Roar for 2021. My favorite event is probably 100 Bentley, because it's all about sprinting, and the event that you are least likely see me swim in the ISL is probably the 200 fly. It's not just my cup of tea. I am excited to be part of London Roar because it's a new team for me, and new team means new experiences. My worst training set is 8 times 200 meters all out on a 7-minute start. And outside swimming, I love to ride horses and spend time with my friends and family. I'm Jenna Laukkanen, and this is the London Roar podcast.
So that was Jenna Laukkanen just introducing herself to us as a new member of the Roar. We'd already heard about her ice hockey career with Duncan and Dylan. Thank you again to them for playing along. But the match, Katie, it was maybe what we expected. For a first hit out against a very strong Energy Standard squad.
Yeah, I think it was actually maybe a bit better than I was expecting, because I guess we don't know what shape anyone's going to be in. We knew we were a bit light on numbers, but I thought everyone really pulled together. New team, new lineup. It looked actually just like the London Roar that we're used to seeing in terms of team spirit and, people doing events they wouldn't normally do. There were an awful lot of people stepping up, particularly on the women's side. So I think it was a great first match.
Yeah, and I think I was really impressed with Katie Shanahan. Actually, she swam it tough. A number of longer events. The 400 AM, 200 AM. I think did she do the 200 fly? Maybe, I don't know. But,
and the 400 free as well.
Yeah,
not a light program.
No, she was very good. Taking on that. It's the role that Amy Wilmot filled last year, where she just took on anything that was thrown at her. So really important for the team, especially with that. With only 11 ladies. Now we saw in that match that the Iron were much better probably than last year, and the draft has helped them close the gap. Coming into the next match, we've got the Condors, the Aqua Centurions and the Frog Kings. And Aqua in particular look like they've recruited well through the draft. They're going to be a real challenge on the relays in particular, it seems.
Yeah, I think so. This is one of the benefits, in a way, of the draft, in that we now have much more evenly matched teams. But it means that a team that we probably would have written off a little bit more last year as a threat, we now have to really think about, and relays are just such massive point scorers, and they have such massive implications in the ISL. So the way they've boosted their team, I think, makes them a real threat.
And we talked about Callie with Duncan and Dylan. Obviously, they've got Kayla with Dressel. But certainly on the first day of their match, just gone, they had a real battle, actually. You know, they didn't walk away with it because the way the jackpots fall. I mean, they fall very differently depending on who you're racing against. So obviously they pulled away a little bit on the second day, but I don't think we can necessarily expect them to just run away with this match from the start, especially with Raw being boosted by those new additions.
Yeah, I think I still have them down as, I probably have Cali down as the best team, the most dominant team. I think maybe with a couple of really, really strong swimmers that they have, that makes their ability to get those sweeping jackpots and to rack up a huge number of points over just a couple of events. They've got that ability that we haven't necessarily seen the Raw having yet. But then I think exactly when we bring in our sort of stronger team and we have people who are able to swim, for example, 3 events rather than 4 in a single session, I think that could make a massive difference.
Now, we talked about them again already. Emma McKeon and Kyle Chalmers coming in. I mean, rather like the guys were telling us, I'm sure they've had a gap out of the water, so we probably shouldn't expect Emma to come in and be as exactly the same speed she was in Tokyo. But even an 80% of her best, she's still going to be a huge asset to the team.
Yeah, I think we were maybe a little bit on the low side on the women's freestyle in match 1, and she's so versatile. We've seen her get Olympic medals Olympic golds in the 1500 free. She got an Olympic medal in the 100 fly. Previously, she's medaled at the Olympics in the 200 free. So she brings a huge amount. And I've seen her short course swim a 200 fly before, a really, really competitive 200 fly. So just, we won't necessarily see her doing all those events straight away. But just having the option, I think, is something that makes her such a valuable player for the Raw.
And I think it makes a massive difference to the skins as well, because now on the ladies' side, you've got the backstroke covered with Kira and Minna. You've got the breaststroke covered with Yenna and Annie and Alia. And now Emma's world-class 50-metre fly and freestyle swimmer to add to that. So, the skins on the ladies' side looks a lot more, a lot better with her on board, I think. So it could be interesting to see what the other teams do in picking those.
Yeah, it's nice to think that we don't have a bad outcome in terms of what gets knocked out in the skins. We've got someone who could do anything. So that, I think that's really good, because that does seem to be a real match decider in the close ones.
It will be, and I'm sure it will be an exciting conclusion to that match coming up at the weekend. Thanks for your help, Katie, on this podcast, and the imagination shown once more with the line or lying. Very good stuff. We'll be back with next week's London Raw podcast after the matches have come up. If you want to get in touch in the meantime, you can find me on Twitter at Pullbuoy or on Instagram at PullbuoyUK. Perhaps if you've got a question or whatever you want us to put to the team next week, you can find it that way. If you've enjoyed listening, please share. Tag us in, and then perhaps we'll give you a shout out on next week's podcast, whether that's Instagram or Twitter. But until we're back with you, thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the London Raw podcast by Pullbuoy. For more episodes, visit www.pullbuoy.co.uk/raw.